Hey people, it is Wednesday, December the 15th, and the time is 11:23 in the morning. And the temperature is 6 degrees Celsius and overcast with on and off rain. And I'm down here near the southern foot of Yonge Street, just a bit north of Harbour Street and Queen's Quay, just to the south of Harbour Street. And I'll be taking a walk along the SouthCore, or through the SouthCore, along parts of Harbour Street, and maybe down onto Queen's Quay as I make my way westward. Just walking past the construction site of the new Sky Tower, which will be the tallest building in the city, possibly, unless the one up at Yonge and Bloor gets its height increase. As it currently stands, the Sky Tower is approved to be the new tallest building in the city, and it will be 312 meters, 95 stories. It's still mostly a hole in the ground, so it'll be quite some time before it starts to reach for the sky. Maybe upwards of a year before it reaches ground level, because right now they're working on all the underground parking levels, and that goes down several stories, maybe 5 or 6 floors below ground. And there's the Toronto Star office building. That building is also slated to get redeveloped with additional floors added on top and a reclad, which I'm not so sure I'm in favor of. I kind of like the old brutalist style of this office tower. There's not too many buildings left like this in the city. And if it gets a glassy reclad, it'll look too much like too many other buildings. I'm just going to bump up my lens a little bit. There we go. I was just tilting down a bit too much. So now we're on Harbour Street. So we're in the SouthCore neighborhood, as I mentioned earlier. This area has been mostly built up in the last 15 years. There was previously a lot of empty space and parking lots. Yeah, there are many proposals for even more towers to rise in this neighborhood, including some major office towers. Across the street, actually, the site of this conference center for the Harbour Castle Hotel, there is a office tower proposal, an over 50-story office tower. And kitty corner in this parking lot is another office tower proposal. That one will be 60 stories. And the old Harbour Commission building there will be preserved. That building is not going anywhere. It's a landmark, a historic landmark. At one time, this Harbour Commission building was directly on the lakeshore many years ago, but over the years, much new land has been filled in here. And going back even further in time, the lakeshore actually extended all the way up to Front Street, which is a couple of blocks north of here. So it's kind of amazing how much of this land really didn't exist a couple of hundred years ago. And there's a nice look at the old Harbour Commission building. And it was home to a expensive steakhouse. I'm not sure if that's still in business or not. And there's looking towards the financial district. And the CIBC Square Tower. That's the latest office building to rise in the SouthCore. And a new twin is actually under construction directly beside it. You can see the crane sticking up there. And this overhead walkway is part of the path system. So that extends down to Queen's Quay. And you can walk through the path and make your way into Union Station and then beyond through the financial district and as far north as Dundas Street. And there's the Harbour Square condominiums. And this is a new park that's currently in development called Love Park. I'm not sure what the layout or the look of that park will be. There's the Porter Airline shuttle bus that takes people between downtown and the Billy Bishop Airport. Here's York Street. Car doesn't want to let me go. So determined to make that turn. Practically willing to just mow down anyone who's in their way. Whoa, it's starting to rain again. So I will unfurl my umbrella. That just came out of nowhere. And this old parking garage is also the site of a redevelopment proposal for some new residential towers. See how the podium of this condo comes to a sharp point here. I've always thought that was pretty cool. It's almost like another Flatiron building, just a very tall one. Alright, so now I'll make my way a block south to Queens Quay to continue our way west. What is this? Not too sure what that is. And the old Gardner Expressway, still standing after all these years, and the icon of Toronto. Here we can get a better look at this proposal for the old parking garage site here. 41 and 71 stories. Toronto is at the stage now in its development as a big city where 70-story buildings are commonplace. 80-story buildings are still kind of a big deal. But there are currently a number of buildings underway that will be over 80 stories. At one time, that was unheard of in the city. At one time, 50-story buildings were a relatively big deal, and now they're like beyond common now. They're almost mundane. A 50-story building is just another building in the skyline for Toronto that you would barely even notice. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the Sky Tower will be 95 stories. And the one at Yonge and Bloor, if its height increase is approved, will be 94 stories. But it will have a higher roof height than the Sky Tower, despite its lower floor count. The one is currently approved for 85 stories. So they're just awaiting a decision as to whether or not their application for a height increase will be approved. So now we're heading west along Queen's Quay. Kind of a gloomy day to be walking along the lakefront. But I don't think I've ever done a rainy walk along the lakefront, so this is something new. And here's one of the wave decks. You can see some tall ships over there. There's the 509 Harbourfront streetcar. We'll head into Union Station. The streetcar actually goes underground for the last leg of its route as it approaches Union Station. I think that guy up ahead was causing trouble in the souvenir store I just passed. And there's the Sky Dome. Some may call it the Rogers Center. Here's another much more boring wave deck. This is H2O Park and H2O Beach over there with all those beach umbrellas. That's a little man-made beach. There's no actual sandy beach well, there is a sandy section that's man-made, but there's no way to go in the water from the beach. So it's not a true beach. And off in the distance, across the harbor, you can see the Toronto Islands. And there's the financial district. I might have called that park H2O when it's HTO. I think it stopped raining. Let me check. Yeah, it stopped again. No doubt it will start again though. Oh, I almost missed this nice unobstructed view of the CN Tower. It's starting to rain again. I didn't even bother closing my umbrella that time. And right up ahead is Lower Spadina. The southern end of Spadina Avenue. North of Spadina, it just becomes plain old Spadina. North of Front Street, I should say. And here's the Spadina wave deck. This guy here is just a major troublemaker. And here we have a whole bunch of Muskoka chairs, as we call them in Ontario. I think in other areas they have different names. I think in New York State they call them Adirondack chairs. It's hard to say. Muskoka is our version of the Adirondacks. It's a vacation area with lakes and cottages north of the city, where many people go to escape the city in the summer. I'm not one of those people, though. I like to be in the city. I'm not one who wants to escape it much.
Rees.
And here's the Toronto Music Garden. So I'll just walk us up into the Music Garden, and I'll start to wrap up the video. Kind of a gloomy walk along Toronto's waterfront and through the SouthCore before that. But if you enjoyed, leave a comment below. Let me know if you enjoy these sorts of rainy walks. And like and share and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And be sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. And if you'd like to support the channel, there are links in the description where you can do so via PayPal and via my merch store. And you can also find me on Instagram under Quay Continuum. So thanks for watching. And be sure to keep checking back because, as always, I will continue. And I almost dropped my camera right at the end of the video.